Hello, MediaVerse members, and welcome to MediaVerse Unwrapped, where we bring our non-toxic Facebook community of Marvel fans to life. I'm your host, Max Taff, and I'm joined by my incredible co-host, Megan Spangler. This week, we're talking Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, first looks, the God of Mischief Season 2 news, Funko's What If leaks, the return of John Bernthal's Punisher, and so much more.
Very excited for today.
Me too. Let's get this poppin'.
Let's go.
This talk show is brought to you by our partners at Facebook and their parent company, Meta. We would like to extend our heartfelt thanks and gratitude for our selection and inclusion in the 2022 Community Accelerator Program. Thank you for this incredible opportunity. We are working so hard to make you guys proud, and this is just the opportunity of a lifetime. So thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. We're so grateful. Thank you for everything. First of all, obviously, we have to talk about Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. Just so you know, there are spoilers ahead. If you have not watched it, I would just skip this part.
Yes, spoilers ahead.
Yes. So I guess, what did you think of it?
Yes. So for a change, I actually got a chance to go to the movies like on the early screening night. So on a Thursday when it releases on Friday. And I was so excited because I never get to do that. And to be honest with you, I really liked it. I don't know why I'm hearing so many mixed reviews on this movie.
I get it. I really liked it, but I have a couple hot takes locked and loaded here.
Ooh.
So it was a good Ant-Man movie, right? That's what it is at the end of the day. But I felt like, first of all, I think it could have done a lot more with 30 minutes, probably added to it, just a little more detail, because there was not a bit of character development for anyone.
Yeah, that's true. I noticed that now that you say that, like, there could have been a lot more character development, especially for characters like the Wasp. I mean, I feel like a lot of the development went to Hank and Janet, and we kind of got a little bit more about their relationship, a little bit more about her time in the quantum realm, like what she was up to, but not a lot on our base characters that we always are used to seeing in these Ant-Man films. So I agree.
Even Janet, you think it's character development. We just heard a slight bit of what happened in the quantum realm. We don't know who she is. Cassie, we see who she is now versus who she was years ago, and that's what we got. She's her own freedom fighter. And that's it. Like, I don't know anything else. And then Hank is the MVP. He doesn't need character development. He's got it on his own. And then Paul Rudd can do no wrong.
Oh, never.
I feel like the first one was a good origin. Second one, all character development. Third one, no, it was just continuing the story, which is what it should be. But I feel like someone should have died.
You think someone should have died? You love when people die.
100%. I usually don't, but this time I was like, all right, someone's definitely going to die. Kang's going to put the smackdown on him. We're going to know what we're dealing with. It's going to be a flex. No, not even an ant died.
Not even Antonio.
Oh, he's the best.
I know. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Dedicate this episode. But, I mean, it's so hit or miss. Like, no one can deny Kang and Jonathan Majors' amazing performance.
Oh, gosh. Jonathan Majors killed it. Wow.
Oh,
I really liked his performance in Loki. I thought that he was just incredible. But, when you're just getting a little taste, he was only in it for just a few minutes. And at the end, you kind of don't get a full feel for an actor's range or like how their performance is going to affect things, especially when they're coming back. And I was just blown away. I thought he was incredible.
How rude of Marvel to give this man a role where he's completely clothed. Give us something, dang.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, he crash landed in the quantum realm. I would have loved just like a ripped shirt, like something.
Something. Like there was this movie was constant action, which I liked. I really liked that there was no like heartfelt moments.
Yeah.
But like you could have gave us something there. You could have given us flash of that sexy time with Michelle Pfeiffer and Jonathan Majors. Okay, think if you're Hank and your wife comes back and you see Kang and she's like, yeah, that's an ex. And he's like, that guy?
I know. And I mean, Bill Murray's one thing, but Kang is a totally different situation.
It's like, I would just feel so inadequate if I was him. Like, can he be in a relationship with both of us? Like, clearly I'm not.
Oh my God.
Like, he's bringing something to the table that clearly no one else is.
I mean, Megan, you just spiced up the entire film. Can you imagine? It's just like, yeah, Janet, let's just be in a throuple with Kang. I mean,
I don't know what's wrong with me. I never like that. but I think it would have spiced it up. I'm missing something here.
Yeah.
Something key that's in every other movie I watch is not here. And I think it's Scandal. There was not a bit of romance. There was 2 couples in this movie. No romance.
Yeah.
I forgot Scott and Hope were together the entire movie until the end when they did that head bump thing. And I was like, why are you? Oh, y'all supposed to be together. You gave us nothing of that. Like, where are they with that? Like, that
it's
makes
so
no
funny
sense
that
to
you
me.
mentioned that. They didn't have the best chemistry in this film. I feel like they were separated for a lot, but like, and I you could definitely tell they cared about each other, but I just wasn't feeling that like passion or anything between them. It just seemed like you're right. It did seem a little off.
I think, like, I really do like her as an actress, but I do think that this movie kind of like showed like she's just not right for the role, in my opinion, because we didn't see any chemistry between her and Cassie. We didn't see anything right there. You'd think you'd get the whole "you're not my mom" kind of thing, because that's what I assumed was going to happen. Nothing. You didn't get a mother-daughter relationship with her and Michelle Pfeiffer. Nothing. I don't even know if her and Hank talked at one point. Nothing. Her and Scott didn't. Nothing. I was like, did you go into this knowing that it was all going to be about Cassie and Scott? Because if that's the case, I don't want you in the title.
Yeah, I mean, like, at least a kiss or something, or like, I don't know. It felt very like platonic between them. It did not feel romantic. You're right. I actually got more romantic vibes from Hank and Janet, because at least like they were like, talking about like, like, oh, her history in the quantum realm and like discussing that. Like, they were very healthy with it. So I love that. But yeah, I definitely see where you're coming from.
I think what would have sold it is when they lost Scott and Cassie, if she broke down crying. Like, at one point just got so frustrated and was like, where are they? We don't know if they're okay. We need to find them. But instead it was, Mom, what happened? Who'd you hook up with?
Exactly.
Like,
yeah, there was definitely like a little bit of a lack of like juicy of like a juicy thing until we got to the end credits, where Jonathan Majors comes out and with his like Council of Kings, and there's like a million of them. Like, God, what did you think about that scene?
I was like vibrating in my chair. I was so happy. My husband was like, why is this a big deal? I was like, look at them all. And they all have different personality. There's Rama Tut. What is he doing? And he has metal arms. And what is going on? And I'm like, oh, God, we're in for it. I'm not ready.
I know.
What did you think?
I'm not either. I'm not ready for it either. I think they're setting up a lot. But you know what? It's kind of like they had like a tall order there with so many of them. There were at least like a good 1,000 of them there. And it's like, how do you justify? I mean, I'm waiting for the story to develop because, a lot of people tend to forget we are still at the beginning of this phase and of this whole saga that they're building with, Kang, the multiverse saga. So it's like we have to wait for them to fully unload the storyline on us. I mean, there's still so many unanswered questions here. But I did think that they had a lot of Kangs there, and I'm trying to think like as to how they are gonna justify having like thousands of Kangs and this like little group of Avengers. So I'm wondering if they're just gonna be bringing in a ton of variants of Avengers to come fight them off, if that's the way that they're gonna do it.
I really think it's gonna be, you're gonna have all these background Kangs that mean nothing to the movie. You're gonna focus on 3 or 4 of them. I'm willing to guarantee it. But if they're better than this one, Avengers are gonna die. It's gonna happen.
I thought he was incredible. I think that he is definitely having a moment right now.
Oh, I think his moment's going to keep going because we saw only a little bit in Loki, and it was enough for us to be like, that's Kang. I don't know him, but that's him. Like, it's just, God, he was good. And then we have the post-credit scene where it's the Council of Kang, and you see all of these ranges happening in our face. That was wild to me. We've never seen that before. That, like, we've seen variants and we've seen all the Paul Rudds in the movie. We saw all of those, but they were all the same person. This was cutting edge, in my opinion.
I'm really excited to see how they take those Kangs and really give us like more backstory on them. I mean, obviously we've got like a long time before, Kang Dynasty comes out. So they've got plenty of time to like really like iron out these details and explain to the audiences, especially general audience members who aren't as well versed on like the comics or things like that. I think that this is going to be really good. And seeing Jonathan Majors portray these different characters, like these very different variants of Kang, is going to be incredible. I can't wait.
I mean, can you name another actor who can do all this in one movie and we still love him? Like, that's the crazy part. Who?
Tom Hiddleston.
Oh,
Loki, come on, he played like 10 different variants, and he was really good in that
that's so true. That is so true. There was like alligator Loki and kid Loki, although President Loki could get it. Like,
oh yes,
God bless America. He was amazing.
Loki for president, everyone. Loki for president.
Loki for president. But we got some hot takes from members. It was pretty back and forth, if we're being honest. The one that got the most reviews, which is so positive, it was my Quantumania hot take is that actually one of the best MCU movies made.
That's a good one.
That's a really nice one. I disagree, but it's a really nice one. Yeah. Then there's Justin P. This movie makes the Ant-Man trilogy the only trilogy in the MCU to solve the villain problem. Every movie's main villain either has returned or will be returning in an upcoming movie. I didn't realize that.
You know, I can see what he's saying because I feel like in the past, the MCU has had an issue with like they have these great villains that they like set this whole movie up, like, you know, where they're building this character. And then all of a sudden at the end, it's like they either die or get arrested or, you know, like somehow disappear, never to be seen again. And it's like, you know, I kind of like how, you know, I guess when you think of Thanos, he was kind of like built up over time as well, but kind of just in bits and pieces. I feel like this phase, Marvel is really like getting up in your face and like, you know, we're introducing Kang now. Get used to it. He's going to be here for a while.
Yeah, because I feel like with Thanos, we got a sprinkle of him, but we still got a villain in every movie. The difference is in the trilogies, we had a villain in each movie because Marvel is notorious for killing them off in every movie.
Yeah.
For example, MODOK. Rest in peace to the greatest Avenger.
Rest in peace, MODOK. Rest in peace. That was soon. But you know what? I was reading something. It was either earlier today or yesterday where it was Peyton Reed or it was someone involved in the Ant-Man film who was talking about MODOK, and they kept like mentioning MODOK, but like in a present tense. So I'm wondering if we're done with MODOK altogether.
It was Jeff Loveness.
That's the one.
Yes. And like, okay, so I was thinking, what if it's a variant? What if we see another one? And then a Genius member says, you know, they could just make anyone MODOK. They have the technology to do that. He's just a machine.
That's true.
And I was like, well, now I don't have a theory. So, okay. God, they're so smart. People are geniuses.
What were your thoughts on MODOK? Like, what did you think about Corey Stoll coming back as MODOK? What was your reaction to that?
I really loved it. I know it's like, so I'm in the minority, but I loved him in the Ant-Man movie. I thought he was a perfect addition. He fit well with everyone, and I just hated him, and he made it that way. And then he's this lovable little America sweetheart who's not a dick anymore.
I know.
I loved it. I thought it was great, and then he died, and I was like, this is just wild.
I know, and I'll say, like, I kind of found him adorable in a weird way. I don't know why.
I know. I don't know.
I can't explain that.
It is.
I really liked it.
I feel like Cassie in her first movie when she's like, it's so ugly, I love it.
Exactly. I love how they showed the whole scene, like, where he's, like, taking off his, like, little suit thing that he's in. And, like, you can just see his, like, weirdly shaped butt. And you're just like, ooh.
Disgusting.
Like, it's the weirdest thing. But I saw it and I was like, that's a newborn butt. I've had 2 babies. And I know what it looks like. That is a newborn baby's butt. And I was like, that's a weird flex. But keep doing you, Marvel. I don't care.
It was a little bit of a weird flex. The butt was odd.
I know.
But I will say, like, I overall enjoyed his performance as MODOK. I thought it was a little too short-lived. I hope that they bring him back in some shape or form. I think, and you know what, that member is right. It really could be anyone. They could choose to start MODOK this way and then like have him evolve into something else. Or maybe a different variant of Kang has a different type of MODOK, like, or a different like person as MODOK. Variants, multiverse, infinite possibilities. Who knows?
I'm down for it. I don't care. He's so underrated.
I know. You know what? I really enjoyed Darren Cross in the original Ant-Man, Corey Stoll's original character. I feel like he was very underrated, and he's honestly one of the most ruthless like villains that I've seen in Marvel. He like disintegrated someone into like a little like drop of goo and then just like wiped it up and flushed it down the toilet. I was like, whoa.
That's it. I think that was it because it was like an Ant-Man movie, but you're showing us like the craziest villain, the one who does not care. Like other ones, they are like, I have a reason for doing this. I have there's a backstory that explains how I feel. And he's like, no, I want this and I want it now and I'll kill you if you get in my way.
Basically, yep.
Yeah. God, so
Exactly
underrated.
right.
Well,
No.
next one is from Joe G.
Hi, Joe.
Hi, Joe. He's a good member. He says, Hank should have died up the stakes. His character is no longer needed now that Cassie can do all his science stuff. Also, we don't need any more super smart teens in the MCU. Everyone do all the science technology stuff now. It reduces the specialness of that unique quality. Does it?
So I will say Joe is totally right. I feel like every like young person being introduced into the MCU is all of a sudden like a computer genius. And it's been like the last few movies. It's been like every like young person is like, oh, I know how to solve like quadratic equations in my head. And I'm like, what?
And they're like that in the comics, but like, give us some normal ones, you know? Like, I don't like feeling dumb when I watch a teenager on TV who's already cooler than me, smarter than me. But like, I'm good with it. I know Riri is a genius. Cassie Lang didn't know she was a genius until now. Tom Holland, Spider-Man's always been smart. Like, what are we doing? We're just getting one kind of person. Give me an idiot.
I know. They're creating a super team of just like teens, and I'm wondering, like, is there some kind of buildup happening here? Will there be some kind of payoff? Will there be some kind of like teen like super brain trust in the MCU? I mean, who knows? It just seems like every time you turn around, there's like some new genius popping up. And before it was like you could like Tony Stark, Shuri, like I get it, you know, but and like, you know, Bruce Banner. But now it's like every teen that comes into the show is like, oh well, hey, like I have something really cool.
Kate Bishop isn't like that. She's very good at what she does. And then Yelena, I've never said it aloud now that I think about it. She's a super spy. She knows everything about that, but she's not a computer whiz. She's not a mathematician. She's good at what she's learned. So I like that. But God, he had a good point.
He did. Man. I think that was a good point. But I mean, you know, I agree with most of what he said, actually. I think that is true.
Hank should have died.
Hey, it would have definitely added a little bit of like texture to the film. The film kind of felt a little, you know what I mean? And it kind of would have added a little something, a little extra kick. And I know that even the actor who plays Hank Pym,
Michael Douglas.
I was going to say Richard Gere. Jeez, I'm sorry, Michael Douglas, if you're listening.
Richard Gere is a handsome man. He's fine.
Yes. They both are. We'll give it to both of them.
Yeah, he's doing good.
So Michael Douglas, he even said, he was like, he was being asked on the red carpet premiere, like, oh, would you come back? Would you come back? Is there an Ant-Man 4? Would you come back? And he kept saying, only if they kill me, which I thought was kind of hilarious. Cause like, but now I kind of see what he was saying. So I get it.
It's a genius answer. But then I think it should have been Janet should have lived. It should have been Hope and Hank died, because I think as dark as it is. Yeah. Well, think about it. How poetic would it have been if they were separated again? Like Janet did not have her family, and that was her fault because she never told him what was in the quantum realm, because that part didn't sit well with me. I'm like, Janet, you fake.
She was so sketchy the whole, and I'm like, how long have you been back and you haven't told them anything? That's so weird.
Oh my God. When I get back, I tell my husband what happened at the store.
I know.
Like, how did you not say anything? You just kept it. So what's our routine? What's for breakfast? That doesn't make sense to me. It's just crazy.
I know. It was pretty wild. And you know what? Now though, now that I have seen the movie and I have seen the entire thing and see like what she was up to in the quantum realm, like maybe that's why you didn't want to tell anyone, Janet.
Oh my God. You got it with Jonathan Mayers, Bill Murray, and probably some we don't know about. I mean, I know it was 30 years. You got your needs. It's cool. There's no slut shaming here. But like Bill Murray.
Listen, I mean, I'm assuming he was younger looking at the time. And I'm also assuming no slack to Bill Murray, because again, a handsome man. But I'm just saying, Janet, I understand you, girl. 30 years is a long ass time. So I get it. And you know she was all up on Kang too. So don't even try me on that one.
Oh, for sure. Wouldn't you? My God.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think any of us in that situation.
That was probably a welcome surprise. Like, oh, thank God. You're like, I've just been getting it with Bill. I mean, it's not.
I know. He's a variety here. Thank you so much, Jonathan. Thank you.
Another human to do this with. So our very own Jose C.
Jose.
I love that guy. Says, not much of a hot take, but Thanos would fold this king easily. Sir, Ant-Man folded this king easily.
Oh.
Thanos would not have looked at this man.
No. And I'm happy that you brought this one up. I was hoping you would choose this one because I actually so in the comics, there's like a panel that has been circulating around since Kang has been announced as the main villain for this phase. And it's of Kang, like literally like, I don't know if he's like choking Thanos or holding him somehow, but Thanos is just like disintegrating. Like, I think that honestly, what I would love to see in the MCU is like some kind of like variant of Thanos that Kang like plucks from the multiverse and just to like flex his power, just like disintegrates him right there and is like, that was your villain? You ain't seen nothing yet. Like, I would kill for that.
Oh my God. I need to see multiple villains fighting each other. Because I've seen the picture going around where it's like Ultron, Loki, Kang, and Thanos. And I'm like, well, stop teasing me. Stop fishing. You already caught me. Like, I need to see it. God, I would love that.
I would love it.
The villains are just treated so poorly, in my opinion. I like Loki's not even a villain anymore, and I know that's a hot button for some, but like I like his character development.
I do too. I love Loki. I think, he lives in the gray area. He is very much in that, just like that space where it's like I could be good one day, and if I feel like being bad, I'm gonna be bad. So
that's exactly it. He's the god of mischief.
Oh, exactly. It's in his nature. And I'm just so excited for Loki Season 2, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. But, so, all right, guys, we've gone over your hot takes and we appreciate them and we agree with some of them. So now let's talk about a hot take that I heard recently. And I'm not so sure how I feel about this. I want Megan's opinion.
Let's go.
Evangeline Lilly has been talking about her own show on Disney Plus. What are your thoughts, Megan? And why are you shaking your head for the people who are not watching?
First of all, I am so mad that she talked about this before the movie came out. You just told us you weren't going to die. What is your problem? That made me like, I don't really like you that much. Because there's no talk of a show. She's just campaigning. That's what it is.
Exactly.
I love her as an actress, but I don't think she's strong enough to pull off an entire comic book show for herself.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like, here's the thing. There's not enough, like, fleshing out of her own character to warrant like a whole series. Like, I just wouldn't find that interesting enough. I mean, when you think about how her character is so tied into Ant-Man, like she doesn't have a lot going on her own. Like she doesn't.
It's because she's a sidekick. It's so sad, but she is. And in the comics, she's nuts. She's nuts in the comics. She's amazing. I will watch literally anything Marvel puts out. I sat and watched I Am Groot. Which like had nothing to do with anything. So yes, I will take whatever you give me, but I highly advise don't do this.
Not yet, Evangeline.
Not yet.
Maybe someday, but not now.
We'll let you know. We'll call you.
Yeah, we'll get back to you, girl. It's okay. We'll get back to you. Now, let's circle back to Loki. We mentioned him a little bit at the beginning of the episode. So let's talk about that post-credit scene that we haven't discussed yet. So the big final post-credit scene at the end of the movie, Loki and Mobius find Kang. I don't know when, I don't know where, but he looks old-timey and I'm excited for it.
Didn't they look so good?
They did.
I don't know what it is about that old-timey look on them, but I really dig it. I gotta be honest, Loki 1 didn't do it for me. I realized that it kind of dragged for me. Yeah, I love Loki. Don't get me wrong. But I think it was Sylvie that kind of brought it down for me. I wasn't too big into her character. And then it just kept going. It felt more like an introduction to Sylvie than more about Loki.
Mm-hmm. I have to say, Loki is one of my favorite of the Disney Plus shows. I loved it. It's like WandaVision, Loki, Moon Knight are like my top Marvel shows.
Yes.
I mean, I loved Loki. Loki was such a vibe. I feel like every Marvel show is such a vibe. And a lot of people complain about the shows and wanting less of them, but I love the shows. I feel like it gives us, instead of just like one night at the movies, it gives us like, 6 to 8 weeks of like our characters that we get to look forward to. It gets me through my week. Like, this is my jam, I love it.
There hasn't been one that I just haven't liked. There's been some that I've liked less, but I'm rewatching Moon Knight right now. Like it's all all of it is great. And WandaVision, such a powerful way to start that. And I can't imagine being the person that's like, give us less.
Mm-hmm. I'll say, okay, like, if the VFX artists are feeling, spread thin and overworked, this might be a great solution. So that way they can continue to give the best while not being so overrun with projects. But at the same time, it's like, I'm selfish and I want more MCU shows. And I'm sorry. I feel bad about saying that. I definitely think that Loki Season 2 is going to be special in the fact that since it was announced so early, I mean, it was like, that was the post-credit scene for Loki Season 1. They had that plan. They had a Season 2 mapped out already. I'm ready to see where that takes us. I think it's going to be a really special project. Number one, I think it's going to be very changing for the MCU. I feel like we're going to see a lot of stuff, like just how Season 1 of Loki was kind of like the intro to this whole multiverse variants, different type of storytelling in that aspect. I feel like Season 2 is going to help us crack the code and kind of figure out all these different questions we have about how the multiverse works, how these variants work, how all these Kangs can exist at one time. Is it timelines? Is it parallel universes? Like, what is it? I feel like Loki Season 2 is really going to get into that. And I'm really excited to learn all that we are going to get from that.
Oh, definitely agree. I think that's what was so hard about Loki. You turned it on and you're like, I don't know what any of this means. I don't know what the multiverse is. I don't understand. Who is Sylvie? Is she him? Who knows? I think that's like, that's what kind of got me.
Question.
Yeah.
That was, I think, on a lot of people's mind.
Yeah, because there was a lot of like, oh, it's Lady Loki. It's this person. It's this person. I was like, I know none of those people. You're not helpful. Because I didn't read the comics at that time. So it was like, you were just kind of along for the ride if you didn't read the comics. But
exactly. It's true.
Yeah. So but you go back and watch, you're like, okay, that makes sense. So I think Season 2 is going to be a lot better for everyone because we know more. And Jonathan Majors is in it. Since when has a villain been in shows and the movie?
I know. I'm stoked about that too. You're right.
Yeah. Like, it's never happened.
I like that they're experimenting with this new medium, the shows. I think it's really great. I definitely want to see where Loki and Mobius like are coming from with that post-credit scene from Ant-Man. Like, I want to know like what brought them there. What made them think to go to that time period to find Kang? Like, what are they doing? Like, how is, at the end of Loki Season 1, I mean, Mobius didn't remember who he was. He was like, oh, you're an analyst,
true.
right? So it's like, how did they get close? I mean, is Loki just showing him something to prove it to him to try and, jog his memory or prove like what's happening? I mean, how did Kang erase him like that? I'm really interested to know. A lot of good questions.
Yeah, I forgot that he completely didn't know who he was. Oh my God, my mind is blown right now. It's all hitting me at once.
The multiverse is opening, Megan. The cracks.
This is bad. So I really would like a trailer. I do think a trailer's coming.
I know.
They just posted on the Loki certified page for like the first time in a while, but it was about Disney's podcast. And I was like, why are you trying to get this active now? Because they've been doing a thing lately where they post the trailer to that character's Facebook, not Marvel Studios. Because I found Ant-Man and the Guardians on their certified Facebook first before Marvel. So I think they're trying to branch out and make all these other things to be followed. Yeah. Which is really cool. I like it, but like the Ant-Man one I didn't know came out. It just happened. So I was scavenging the internet and turns out it was on his freaking Facebook.
Oh my God, how annoying. But you know what? I kind of see it. I mean, they're trying to direct the engagement where they need it. And, I can relate when we run this group. Listen, sometimes we got to do the same thing.
We do the same thing, man.
I respect it. I read recently that Kang will be affecting like every project coming up now. So I'm wondering I'm wondering how we're going to see Kang like affecting all these future projects. Like, and I want to know, where do you think that he is going to pop up next? Like, where do you think Kang is going to pop up after, obviously we're getting him in Loki Season 2. And where do you think he's most likely to pop up next?
I'm going to say it's going to be a variant of Kang in everything because he had so many Kangs in the Council of Kang. There has to be a way to show us what we're dealing with, even if it's a sprinkle. I think that's what it's going to be. It's going to be a slight sprinkle, except Loki. He's getting it hard. But
like, Kang's giving it to Loki hard, guys.
Oh my goodness.
Season 2, baby. Season 2.
Season 2 is going to be lit. But
that's the scandal that Megan's looking for.
God of Mischief. I pray to you.
I pray to you.
I don't, but like, it's a cute idea.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely think we're going to get like some exposition, some backstory on like the King variants that we've seen, like that now that we've had introduced at the end of Ant-Man, like the main council of Kangs, like Ramatut, for sure I could see popping up in Moon Knight. I mean, they already teased him in Moon Knight Season 1.
Mm-hmm. True.
I definitely think that we're going to see some Ramatut, and I think they're going to go deep into his story. I think that has a lot to do with Kang's general origins as to how he branched the multiverse, how he went, and found his variants. I think that that's going to be part of that storyline. I think.
I think so too, because like Ramatut, he was very active in Kang's story with Kang's girl,
Miss Ravonna Renslayer.
Bless you.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think that's a good one. Like with Ramatut, that's what I'm excited for.
Any iteration of Moon Knight is great. I love the character. I love the backstory. I think that there's so much potential there. And I would love to see Kang go up against Moon Knight. You know how crazy Moon Knight is? And I would think that would be insane. Like, that would be a real match. Like, Ant-Man was good. He used his abilities to his advantage with Kang. And I think that that's kind of like where he thrives. I think Moon Knight is just like, he's down and dirty. He doesn't pull punches, and I would love to see Kang go against that. Someone needs to put Kang in his place at some point. I'm ready for it.
Balls to the wall. And when you get tired of Moon Knight, bam, you get Stephen Grant.
Exactly.
Like you just don't win. There's no winning. There's no way.
And I know I've seen like a lot of people talking about like another way that Kang could pop up in the future would be like who bought Avengers Tower. Like there's like this big hole like in the middle with like a trees and stuff, and that Spider-Man swings through or by at one point, and there's a lot of speculation as to who bought Avengers Tower. And I know in Loki Season 1, there was like in that void where they were at, where Elias lives, and they get kind of dumped after they get pruned. There's like in the background, you see shots of like the Avengers Tower with like Kang Enterprises, but it's spelled like Qeng, like a clever play on Kang.
Oh.
And I'm wondering if maybe we'll see Kang pop up in that respect, like in a Fantastic Four movie, or maybe even in Ironheart, since there's Iron Man connections. But I don't think, where does Riri Williams go to school again? I think she goes to school at MIT, right?
Yeah, because there was a big thing about MJ and Ned running into her.
Oh, I would love that. That would be
I know. She would hate Ned so much. And I'd need to see it. MJ would not put up with her. I'd need to see that too. Because they're both really smart. Like, I need to see it.
Like, I know there's supposed to be like a magical element to Ironheart with some new characters that are coming in. And like, what if like that kind of segues to like bring Ned into Ironheart, since they're going to kind of the same school, I think. Like, that would be cool.
That would be cool. But
he's a sorcerer in training.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I want to see him with Wong. Because I got to see that play out. Because we all saw you do magic. We know you can do it. I need to see it.
I'm ready for it. All right, so introducing our hot topics and rumor roundup. Let's start off with our Funko Soda merch leaks topic for discussion. The last couple of weeks, we've had some major leaks from Funko, who is a popular nerd culture purveyor of action figures, toys, figurines, things like that. They started to advertise their new collection for What If Season 2, which has not released yet. So, Megan, what do you think?
I don't know. The Hella one, it doesn't look like her to me. It felt very, very toned down for her because her character is really, really a badass. And we have this one she kind of looks older. Her hair's pulled back. Her outfit, I've seen some say it's dragon scales. I don't know. But I don't know. I feel like they kind of dropped the ball on her look.
Yes. She appears to be wearing a Ta Lo costume from Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. So I kind of have to agree with Megan. I feel like she does look a little haggard. I don't know what she's got going on, but that red eye makeup looked wild.
Yes. Just seeing her from Ragnarok and kind of knowing her character from the comics, it's like, I feel like she's been done a little dirty, because I feel like we already weren't given enough time with her. And then this is what you give me. Maybe I'm just being shady. I don't know.
Yeah. So I'm really excited for it. I love What If because I love the variety that you get each week when you're watching it like week by week as it releases on Disney Plus. I will say Hella did look a little rough. I don't know if that's part of her character. Maybe she's like really at battle. I'd like to know why she's wearing a costume that kind of represents Shang-Chi and that whole corner of the universe. Because to be honest with you, it doesn't make sense. And I guess that's the whole point of What If.
Yeah.
Because None of the combinations and the what if scenarios that they always have make sense, but I'm excited to see how they're going to connect like Thor Ragnarok with Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. What do you think? How do you think they're going to do it?
That's a really good point. They really don't make sense. So here I am complaining, saying it just doesn't make sense, but like that's the point. So maybe I should just wait to see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, my whole thing with this is the fact that, if she's wearing that costume, it's like, whose side is she on? We always expect Hela to be a villain, but if she's wearing a costume that's reminiscent of Ta Lo, I mean, it kind of raises a couple questions, like, whose side is she really on? And also, like, who did she kill for that outfit if she isn't on the good guy's side?
Well,
like, who did she kill?
I've heard the rumors, not confirmed, just a rumor, that the episode is about if she never got banished. So it's like, is she seen as a good guy because she didn't get banished? They just got me through a loop. I don't even know where to go with this.
And I mean, could Ta Lo be like the 10th realm? Could Odin have gone to conquer Ta Lo? I mean, I know I've been hearing rumors from people who were at D23 last year and saw the trailer that hasn't been released to the public yet, saying that there's Odin versus Wenwu fight sequences, which I think would be really cool. I mean, those different fighting styles and the different cultures meshing together would be really interesting to see on screen. So I'm really excited for this.
I do like when they do that.
Let's move on to the second Funko leak that came about recently. So a new character has been introduced, and forgive me if I misspell the name, but who is Kaori? She is a new character that is not from the comics, that is being made into toys already. So she's coming from What If Season 2. What do we know about her so far, Megan?
So her pronunciation of her name, while it's spelled Kahori, it's actually Kahorti. Apologize to any Mohawk people if I said that wrong. Just know it's all with respect. I'm so sorry. So her name is actually a real Wolf Clan name, and it means she stirs the forest, as in she motivates those around her, which already sounds pretty powerful. Like I'm pretty excited about this. So basically, the story is from the Native Mohawk perspective, and it's done with complete cooperation of the Mohawk people, from dialogue to adornment. That's amazing. And they even used a Mohawk language expert for the show because the show will be in the Mohawk language. That's
insane. I can't believe they're going to do a whole episode in another language. I mean, that's pretty amazing. And it really goes to show it goes to show the lengths that Marvel is willing to go to, create inclusivity and to create those spaces where people can feel like they belong and like they're being represented. And I love that. I think that's incredible.
It's the representation we've already seen firsthand because one of our wonderful members, Diana Costa, she is part Mohawk and she was psyched. I would be so happy. Like that is huge.
That is cool.
Yeah, it's such a specific thing to make a character of, and think of all the people you're representing. I think it's incredible.
I love it. I mean, at first, before they released like kind of the breakdown of what her character is going to be doing and what the episode is going to be about, I was kind of thinking like, oh, who could she be related to? Could she be someone who's, related to Echo?
Yeah.
Echo has Native American ancestry.
So
could it be, is she an agent of the multiverse working for Uatu the Watcher? I mean, I didn't know, but now that we kind of know a little bit more, Megan, why don't you tell us a little bit more about what the episode's going to be about?
So just to address the Echo thing, Echo is actually Cheyenne. Just so we all bust that rumor, which I would really like if they're related, but I get it.
I didn't know that.
Yes. So it asks what would happen if the Tesseract fell to Earth and landed in sovereign Haudenosaunee. I'm so sorry, Mohawk people. I am the worst. Just know I'm trying my best. I'm like sweating.
We just lost like 200 listeners.
Please come back. I love you so much. So it landed there before the colonization of America. The Tesseract takes on a new life and a new mythology, transforming a lake into a gateway to the stars and leading Kahorti, a young Mohawk woman, on a quest to discover her power. I need a movie. I don't need a what if episode. I need all of it.
I need all of it too. That sounds amazing. And I actually looked at the pronunciation for this word. It's pronounced Haudenosaunee.
So I butchered that, but I appreciate you and that extra mile. I told myself last night, look up this word, memorize it. And then I turned on Jessica Jones and the night left me, of course.
Understandable, as like Jessica Jones is one of my favorite of the Defenders shows. So I totally get that. It's been way too long since I've seen it now that you just reminded me. So I think I might do a rewatch too sometime soon.
You have to. Speaking of Jessica Jones, we have to talk about The Punisher.
The Punisher, yes.
Oh my God.
Jon Bernthal has been officially announced as returning as the Punisher in the 18-episode Daredevil Born Again Disney Plus series, and I am just so stoked about this. For those of you who don't know, Jon Bernthal worked on the Netflix Punisher series for 2 seasons. He appeared in Daredevil. You may know him from his leading role in American Gigolo on Showtime. He also starred alongside Leonardo DiCaprio in The Wolf of Wall Street. We've got a lot to talk about with this one. I am so excited. I think he is brilliant and like weirdly sexy, and I am not ashamed to admit that. So, Megan, what do you think?
You should not be, because he is a whole snack. I don't care.
Oh, yes.
God bless him. And he, we knew it was coming, because if there's one person who is so passionate about their role, it's him. He did the research when he got the role. He went to comic book stores. He talked to the clerks. He said, what should I read? How do I learn about this character? And he did that homework. That says a lot to me. It's not just a face. It's the passion. And I feel like we don't see that very often.
I'm excited. The same with Charlie Cox. I'm really excited to see him back as Daredevil and to see these two interacting again. What do you think?
I think they had such an on-screen chemistry. It's like riding a bike. They're going to get back on screen. It's going to be exactly where they left off. I don't know about the story, because Charlie Cox has said, this isn't a new season to Daredevil. This is a season 1. We are starting over, which is like, that's a big old thing to tell us, isn't it? So many episodes, I just don't know which way they're going to go. We know Kingpin is in it. I really hope She-Hulk's in it. I really do.
Oh my God, that would be awesome.
Wouldn't it? Thank you. But with Jon Bernthal, it's like, he has publicly said, I will not come back to be Frank Castle being the Punisher. I will not come back to be Frank Castle unless they do the character justice. If they change it, if they, as some say, Disneyfy it, make it more Disney, he will not do it. So it's like, are they going to get dark in this show? Which I hope they do, because they're like, it's full of dark characters that we need to see, desperately need to see, after all the humor we've seen and all the lightheartedness.
I totally agree with you. I would love to see a little bit more grit. I don't think they're going to go as dark as the Netflix shows did. I feel like they don't have the license at this point with Disney Plus yet to be introducing like a lot of like bloody like deaths and like shooting and stuff like that we've grown accustomed to seeing from the Netflix shows. I think that they're going to probably tone that down a bit. But you know what? I'm honestly surprised. From like the recent projects that have come out, I've seen a few things on Disney Plus that I'm like they're really pushing the envelope with that. So I think this is going to be great. Marvel is not shying away from, a little bit more mature content, as we know Deadpool 3 is coming out at some point next year. Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman are gearing up for that, and it's going to be rated R. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get a little bit of a grittier take on things, but who knows? We'll see. I don't know where the story will take us.
Especially after watching Moon Knight, which that's a dark show. Whether you look at it dark or not, there is at one point he tries to kill himself, and it shows that. So I feel like that shouldn't that tell you how dark they're going to get, at least to an extent. And they're saying it won't be on Disney Plus if it's dark. Jessica Jones is on it. If you watch the first 3 episodes, there's some dirty stuff happening in those with Luke Cage.
Oh yes, there definitely is.
Which I really like them together. They're really cute.
Let's get into where we last saw the Punisher, where we left off with him in his Netflix series. They pretty much wrapped it up at the end of season 2. I mean, if we remember, Frank kills his longtime best friend, Billy Russo, aka Jigsaw, at the end in the finale. We see Frank scouting out a warehouse where he has lured drug dealers together after a time jump, so he could take them out. So we do see that, Frank isn't looking to settle down into a normal life anytime soon. He's still up to his Punisher antics at the last time we saw him. So I'm assuming it's going to be the same kind of a deal here. And I just want to know, bringing these characters back together, but not having the backstory where they've met before and things. I just wonder how they're going to go about doing that. And For some reason, Marvel has been so tight-lipped about this, and I don't know why.
I don't know what it is, but after Phase 4, they have been so tight-lipped on everything, from the Daredevil Born Again to Fantastic Four casting to everything, which I really do like, because there was a point in time where you wouldn't know what was happening in a movie until you went to the movie itself.
It's true.
Now we have the internet, we have leaks, we have everything. The whole plot to Quantumania was posted a week before it came out. I read it. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I love spoilers. I just love them.
You do.
I do. I have a problem.
The next one I want to see is Jessica Jones. I know that on the Instagram post that John Bernthal made, kind of announcing that he was coming back as the Punisher, Kristen Ritter liked his post, and I know a lot of people like to read into that, and I'm crossing my fingers, but it seems like Kristen Ritter might be coming back.
Yes.
That is a rumor, but I'm crossing my fingers and toes. I'm ready for it. I loved her.
Honestly, I think she's definitely coming back. She commented on it with a fire emoji, which I haven't seen her comment on many things. For her to go out of her way to comment on this, it's like...
she's ready.
She knows it. She posts pictures of Mike Coulter, who was Luke Cage in the Netflix show. She has posted a picture of herself in the gym wearing a Daredevil shirt. Ma'am, stop fishing. You already caught me. I
just think John Bernthal really does such a great job in the role, and he just brings his A game to whatever he does, and I'm just very impressed with him. I'm very happy to hear he's coming back, and I think a lot of our members are happy to hear that John Bernthal is coming back. Megan, we just did a group poll, didn't we? What did you think about those results?
I did not see them coming. So, but I'm happy they were this way, because I tend to agree. So it was 80% was for Bernthal, which
oh wow,
I really love that. 10% was for Thomas Jane, 6% was for Dolph Lundgren, and 4% was from Ray Stevenson. I thought Ray would be higher.
You know what the funny thing is? When we started this poll, I didn't even realize so many actors had played the Punisher before. I mean, gosh, it's kind of like up there with like Hulk, with how many different actors have played them in different iterations. I mean, I'm excited that everyone liked John Bernthal a lot. I mean, that's a no-brainer. I feel like he's the best.
I agree. Tell me how many people are looking to find the Punisher series right now because of the news.
You're absolutely right. I'm sure their streaming analytics just went like through the roof on the Punisher, and you can get caught up with seasons 1 and 2 of Bernthal's The Punisher now on Disney Plus. So check that out in preparation for his role where he's coming back in Daredevil. We are so excited. I know Megan is dying. I'm dying. Everyone's dying. We're just ready for it.
We're not okay. Thank you for listening to us. Now is a message from our group creator, Grant Cohen.
Yes, a little post-credit scene of his own.
Oh my God, it's his Easter egg scene.
Hello, my name's Grant, and I'm the founder of MediaVerse, and you've been listening to MediaVerse Comics Unwrapped. I just wanted to give you all a quick thank you for listening and being a part of this super cool journey that we're going on, and to thank Meta for opportunities they're giving us right now. Hopefully we'll see you again soon on one of our multiple platforms. In the meantime, cheerio.
Yes, always a pleasure. Don't forget to join our Facebook group, MediaVerse Comics Unwrapped, and like our public page on Facebook, MediaVerse Plus. Follow us on Twitter at MediaVerse Plus, and we will catch you next time. Thanks so much for tuning in. Bye-bye.